start capturing it all. Well, good. Okay, welcome. So I don't have my normal soapbox planned for this carb speech because I would like to kind of know what everybody wants to know, and we can just talk about different things with carbs. The basic is that a carb is a macronutrient, just like a fat or a protein, right? So it is one of three macronutrients that make up our food categories. So from here, if you have things you've heard about carbs or questions about carbs or things like that, we can just start throwing it out there and talking about what you all want to talk about.
Well, I'll start. I always hear that like when you cut the carbs, you lose the weight. And I know it's true because it's happened with me, but I know that you're not supposed to live like that. So I got the book, Crack the Fat Loss Code. So I'm only in the first week. The first week they cut all the carbs. But then after that, I want you to talk about it. They call it macro patterning, where you have some days are low carb, some are high carb, and some are baseline days. So talk to me about that.
Okay. So let's go back to the first part. So when you cut out carbs, right, you are losing weight for two reasons. One, your body is holding on to less water. It holds less water in your muscle. It holds less water in general with less carbs because you don't have the glycogen stores, which require water to convert to energy. So you automatically, you can tend to like drop quite a bit in a first week of changing up your diet because of that, especially if you go low carb. Number two, if you take carbs out, you're likely in a calorie deficit because you're going to have to eat a lot of vegetables to make up for regular carbs. And you're probably not going to increase your meat or protein as much as you took out carbs, right? You're probably just not, replacing the carbs you took out. So you're in a calorie deficit. You will lose weight in a calorie deficit. That's why we lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing it sounds like this book is doing, and I haven't read it, but it sounds like it's likely carb cycling. And there's lots of different ways to do that. And some people carb cycle because they feel like they feel better on it. They can stay leaner because they're not carrying the necessarily the water in their muscle. And it's also a way for people to what you could call shred. You're cutting down if you have an event, if you have a competition, if you have something that you want to take some of the excess off. It doesn't necessarily mean you are losing fat. Okay, so when you take out carbs and you lose weight, that is not equivalent to actually losing a fat percentage off your body. That takes time for your body to use up fat storage and not replace it, leave it off, right? So like if you want your total body fat percentage to go down, it takes time. That's not something our bodies are like a pound to 2 pounds a week. And that's not all fat when it comes off. That can be some muscle depending on how you're eating or lifting. That can be some water and that can be some fat. But that's like an average weight loss type thing. So does that make sense?
Yeah, but how do you get rid of the fat?
Time, consistency, good nutrition, and moving your body. That's how you get it off and keep it off. Changing your body composition is never a fast process. As women, we can only put on up to a half pound of muscle a month. And that's really working at it. There are things, especially, I know some of you started reading Roar also now, but there are things in our bodies happening where progesterone levels are like going against our muscle production, right? They're going against us building and keeping muscle. So there's things we have to deal with that men don't have to deal with in order to put muscle on. So changing our body composition is definitely over time. Am I freezing again?
So
hopefully not.
Yeah. So So the 3 pounds that I pretended that I gained in muscle weight, like over the last month or whatever, with whatever weight program I did, is just really only a half a pound a month
Right.
at the most.
At the most.
Like I feel like I've been, I've been using that muscle weighs more than fat, or
it does not. It does not weigh more than fat.
Been a lie.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let's cover that really quick. Muscle, things weigh the same, right? Muscle takes up less space than fat.
Yes, I agree. Yes, you're right. So it doesn't have any effect on the scale, like muscle doesn't. Like if you're changing your body composition. Exactly.
That's why, like when people were going through 80-day obsession and people would be dropping inches like crazy, but the weight didn't, the scale didn't really change. That's what was happening, right? They were certainly changing their body composition. They were getting rid of fat. They were adding muscle. They were building the muscle they had, but it does not always reflect on the scale.
You know what you have to do, Kim? You have to get one of those scales that you can measure water, fat, muscle, and bone, and then you can tell.
Or just throw the scale out and be like,
yes. They're not super accurate though, Kathy. They're not super accurate. So, I mean, the best thing is a Dexa scan, and that you would get like every quarter or a couple times a year. So you could compare, before and after you've done a program or as you're progressing. But the scales, they have a really pretty high accurate count. What?
Okay.
Yeah. The pincher, I don't know what the
calipers
the term is, but there's like, thank you. Yep. Yes, this is why I'm here. That's also, I mean, that's like, I would say, if I had to rank them, and correct me if I'm wrong, you probably know better than I do, Deanna, but I would say the Dexa scan, the calipers, and then the scale for like measuring body fat percentage.
Correct.
What's
so calipers really works? Calipers method works?
Yeah, the calipers are good as long as your person knows how to use them. Because you do definitely, like when you're getting it here, you have to make sure you're not getting into the meat, you're getting into the skin. And as long as they're consistent in location and they've used them quite a bit before, because you want to know how to use them. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable using a caliper on someone. I don't do it nearly enough, but I used to do hydrostatic weighing for people at the pool I worked at. And that's also uber accurate. It's close to it's in between caliper and Dexa scan.
What's a Dexa scan?
So it's a body scan that is similar to like a CAT scan type format, where it goes through and scans your body for bone mass, muscle mass, water, fat.
Where do you get that done?
Dexa Fit.
Yeah. There's lots of gyms starting to get things like that now, because the systems for doing it are becoming more reasonably priced and the technology is better. But you can there's imaging places that have them. It's DXA, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah.
I always
Kelly, where did you get yours done?
Yeah, I get mine at Dexafit, and it is DEXA capital FIT. I'm actually trying to find one of my scans, but those are I've been doing that for 2 or 3 years, and that in itself, that scan, and then there's also a 3D scan, and they're really inexpensive, and you can go like once a quarter. The 3D scans, I was going once a month because I had a package. But it will tell you your lean mass in your fat, and you can fluctuate definitely from 1 month to another. But I was trying to find my latest one because it was in a matter, it was either a month or 3 months that I had gained like almost a pound of lean mass, which is kind of cool. And you can kind of see it progress. So it's just kind of I don't know if you call it science, but the science or the anatomy behind it it's cool to see, because it truly takes a scan of your whole body, and you can literally see your lean mass is going to be in red, and then your fat's going to be in yellow. And so every time I get the Dexafit scan, I can see how much how much around my hips is my problem area. That's all in yellow. And I'm like, oh my God, it looks like my hips are like huge, but it does. It'll tell you your percentage. And it's, if I find it, if somebody wants a copy of it, I'll be happy to send you an example of what you get. I might actually have a hard copy somewhere. Yeah, if I find it, I'll show y'all here in a second. I think I have a folder over here. Sorry, my boyfriend's hitting me up on my phone right now, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So let me just see if I can find that little printout, and I'll try to show you all on the screen so what it looks like.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
So I have a carb theory. Can I throw out a carb theory? So this was one of my favorites of a book I read, like, I don't know, like 10 years ago. And I lost some weight, and I'm trying to remember which book it is. I think it was like Live Your Best Life or Best Diet Life or somebody from Oprah. But or maybe it was Skinny Chicks Don't Eat Salads, which was another one of my favorites. But it said that you should eat that when you're doing your planning your meals, that if I have a meal with 20 proteins, that I can have 40 grams of carbs, that they'll check each other out as long as I don't go over twice as many. Like I could eat twice as many carbs as the amount of protein that I was eating in it. And sometimes I use that as a guide, although I think I'm wishful thinking. But do you know if that would make any sense?
I have never heard of that.
It was kind of, they described it. Well, this is how they described it, as like a little FedEx truck taking nutrients to your cells. And it said on the truck, if it had carbs and proteins together, it could make a nice delivery. And then otherwise the extra ones, like the extra carbs that you ate, just turned into fat, like, or whatever. So the visual stuck.
Yeah. Hi, I'm new to the group. My name is Liz. So I actually just had a baby 9 months ago, and I had gestational diabetes. So when I was learning essentially how to eat with this gestational diabetes and also grow a human, the nutritionist did say that if you're going to have a carb, just offset it with a protein. So then that way your body doesn't absorb the carb side of things, that it'll help absorb more of the protein than the carb. So I'm not, I don't know if it's a myth, but that's what I was told when I had the gestational diabetes. So I don't know if that will help at all.
Okay, I feel like I need to read into this a little more, because this doesn't make any sense to me from the science I've read. Because your body is looking for nutrients, and it's going to use whatever it can use. So if you've eaten too much of anything, it'll store it as fat, or it'll flush it out. It's not like,
I'm sure I have I'll look around my resources and see which book it came from, because I know I went back and read it a few times.
Yeah, that's really,
and used it for a while. Of course, I used it for bad, like I do it every day. Like I added peanuts or those processed cheese crackers to my Big Gulp, like so that it wouldn't just have the Big Gulp, with the carbs alone. So I know that was wrong, but
So no grilled donuts and Krispy Kreme for breakfast is what I'm hearing.
Well, if you have bacon with it, maybe that would be a protein that would balance it off. If you put like bacon on top of your donut.
I'm gonna start meal prepping with you, Kim. You seem to know what's up.
right?
I read something else. There's another book called Fit for Life. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that or read it, but they say don't have protein and carb together, because when they get into your stomach, they need different enzymes to digest them, and they counteract each other, so everything rots in your intestine.
They do need different enzymes to digest them, but I have never heard of them rotting in your system because they're there together.
They don't get
these are really interesting. I feel like I should look.
Because each one counteracts the other, and nothing gets digested. I don't know. Is that right?
I would say no. Otherwise, how would we even still be functioning?
I have a question.
Yeah. Am I frozen? Go ahead. It's Jamie, right?
Kelly has her picture.
I don't know if y'all are gonna be able to see it or not. I don't know on Zoom if you can actually take a picture of it, or maybe I can send it in a group later. So
just hold it up. We could see it.
So you see the red and the yellow I was talking about?
Yeah.
And then it just breaks down all the every area of your body, as far as pounds and percentage, and it's really cool. And then I have another one. This is the actual Dexa Scan. This is the better one out of the two that I do. The other one is called, and I think this is more available probably like through gyms, but it's called, and I do it at the same place. This one is called, let me scroll up, Fit 3D. And this one will actually take a picture of your body. I don't know, how do I flip this so y'all can actually see this? Is there a way for me to
I
flip
don't
this
know.
puppy? Yeah.
Oh, there you
Check
go.
this out. So let me scroll down. So that's my body shape, which is kind of scary for me, but it does. It takes, you hold on to, you're standing on this little platform and you basically hold on to these little handles and you push the button and it'll scan you around
Wow.
once.
That looks like
So-
my scan through my Halo.
And then, but then you go into this report and it gives you detailed information. I would have to log in and everything, but yeah, it's, if you haven't done it, you should at least try it once. It's pretty inexpensive. I mean, to me it is. I'll flip my camera back up or over, I should say. It's like probably about $50, $60. If you get a Groupon, it's super cheap.
Yeah, I'm seeing $22 Groupon right now if anybody's interested. So
Yeah. I mean, I think the most I've paid has been like $70. But the Dexa Scan, you only want to do once a quarter because truly it's taking like I think of it as like an MRI of your body. So the other one you can do monthly. The Fit 3D is monthly. It's cool just to check it out. Yeah, the last time I had a Dexa Fit scan, the actual Dexa Scan itself, it looks like, well, this one says June of 2018. Dang, that was a long time ago. Let's see what it said on this one. Oh, I think this is my first one. Says I weigh 166 pounds 3 years ago. So almost 20 pounds difference, 18 pounds difference in 3 years. So
Jamie, you had a question?
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was a question for Deanna. You had said if you eat too much of anything, it's going to store as fat. Does that include things like vegetables?
Yep. I mean, anytime
Wow.
it's because it's not taking the vegetable as I mean, it's just taking your calorie surplus. So even if you're eating healthy, right? No matter what that healthy is, I mean, it's going to be really hard to overeat on vegetables, to be honest, if that's like the main group of food on your plate. But any excess calories create fat storage. So it's not like it's saying, oh, you had a sugar donut, this goes to fat, versus you had almonds, so we're going to work our way through it. Do you know what I mean? So when you
Yeah.
even eating healthy, if you're eating too many calories, you're eating too many calories, and that's weight gain.
Okay.
Now, the other piece of that, though, is if you're eating nutritious foods that maybe don't cause inflammation, like processed foods can, high sodium foods, sugars, chemicals, fake sugars, those can also cause water retention on top of eating too many calories. So it may be more obvious or feel like more too, because your body is also inflamed along with some weight gain. If that makes sense.
Yes.
What does it mean when your body's inflamed?
That it's holding onto water. Essentially, it's swollen. It's mad about something, and so it's like if you had an outward bruise, right? There's going to be more blood flow there. There's going to be some water retention there. It's going to be swollen.
Okay.
And so sometimes people, when they change their nutrition plan, not knowing it, take out foods that had been, causing them issue. And so then they also drop some of that inflammation and water weight too, because their body isn't fighting whatever is happening that they were eating previously. You know, if you had a dairy intolerance or a gluten intolerance and you've taken some of those things out, then you can also drop pretty quickly there because your body's getting back to a level where it's not angry.
Or even if you just eat, for me, when I eat salty food, I hang on to whatever water I have in my body, and I get, I feel pudgy, I guess,
Yeah.
and I definitely retain for a couple of days, and then it'll drop back down. But I just know that when I'm eating something salty, I'm making that choice.
Definitely. And alcohol can also make you feel fluffy, or, you know, if you want to call it that, or, you know, there's different things that you can have that your body reacts to. So,
Or not drinking enough water.
yeah, not drinking enough water to flush it all out. And so carbs are what, you know, like here's partly why carbs get a little bit of a bad rap, right? Included in carbs are donuts and sugary things and things that are really unnecessary. But also included in carbs are fruits and vegetables and whole grains and things that our body knows how to use and enjoys and uses for energy well. So it's like you have to kind of go, well, what kind of carbs am I having? Is this a bag of potato chip carbs? Or is this, you know, some quinoa carbs? Because that's also a big difference. And it may feel like when you start on a UPF or a 2B mindset that it is going to be likely lower carbs than you're used to eating, because in our society, we're really used to reaching for some carbs, right? Any snack food pretty much is a carb.
Yeah.
So when you go onto a nutrition plan, it may feel more restricted, but you're still getting, like on UPF, you're getting 40% carbs in your plan. You're 40 carbs, 30 protein, 30 fats. And it's just a really good level of macronutrients.
From what I'm reading
Well-
about carbs in a lot of places, they're saying carbs is the go-to for your body to burn. So if you eat carbs, that's what your body burns. So okay, you're eating carbs, your body burns it. So since you've given it carbs and your body's burning it, your body doesn't have to go to the fat stores. So the only way to get your body to go to the fat stores is to don't give it the carbs. So when it wants to burn, it goes and gets the fat. Is that right thinking or not?
So yeah, well, so it's a lot more complicated than that, because your energy, so your food comes in and it goes back out into your body to create energy sources. So there's 3 systems of energy sources, and the first 2 tend to reach for things that carbs supply, glycogen. Those are existing around, just waiting to be converted into energy. The third one is when you're in more of an endurance level thing. And that's when people talk about a fat burning zone, and that you can get into this fat burning zone, which isn't necessarily really, it's really hard to describe, but there really isn't a fat burning zone where it's like your body's only going for fat storage burning. It is burning whatever it can possibly make to get its hands on to keep you moving. So if you're an endurance runner, if it can, you know, if ATP comes up and the glycogen works, then it's going to burn that. And then it's going to go to some protein, and then it might get some fat, but then all of a sudden the glycogen's back again because the body restored it. So it's like these systems are constantly working, right? And glycogen is its fastest source to convert into energy. And that is something that carbs supply. That's why if you did 80-day obsession and Autumn had you on a really great plan, right, where you didn't get treat yellows until refeed day, then resupplied the glycogen into your muscles, and the next day you had leg day, and it allowed you to lift heavier, put more into your workout because you had those glycogen stores, because you could do more. So that's it's really a complicated thing. Now, the one thing I will say is if you've eaten in a calorie deficit during the day, at night, your body does prefer to get some fat out then to help the body repair and use as energy and to work its systems while you're sleeping. So that's why it's also super important, especially in weight loss, that you're getting enough sleep, because your body's repairing and using what it needs. Plus, then the next day, if you're not, tired
Oh,
or
we lost you
you're
there.
down. Oh, did I freeze up? If you're, once you're, if you're not going into your day tired, you're not going to crave the carbs as much, because that's also your body's mechanism for getting energy. Yell if I'm still frozen. Am I okay?
You're fine.
Okay.
You are.
So I hope that makes sense.
So Deanna,
Energy systems are super, super complicated. They really are. And it's just having, like, your body likes to have all the things available. It likes carbs, it likes protein, and it uses whatever it can to make your system work well. It's the excess of things where we cause issue.
Well, and I know for me, when I eat from the top of the yellow list, it makes a huge difference than when I eat from the bottom of the list. I mean, I have more energy. I just seem to feel better and look better, and it makes a big difference for sure.
It really does. And, when you have, because you're getting, especially in the yellows, you're getting that more fiber content. So your body's systems are using that fiber to do what it needs to do. We talked about gut health a few weeks ago. That's a big thing, to have that fiber for gut health. So you are probably absorbing more nutrients. Maybe you're getting more serotonin made because your gut is acting in a healthy way. The digestion system is working. Our immunity is working better when our guts are healthy. So it's all connected.
I know for me, especially, and by the way, I did switch to using the containers because I wasn't, and I'm eating in maintenance. Let me tell you, I'm having a heck of a time. I think I'm in plan C. Is that what I did, Lily? I think C is right. I think it's around
Yeah, you're in C.
2,000. Yeah, around 2,000 calories, 2,100. I have a hard time getting, I think that has the 4 carbs. Is it 4 carbs and then five proteins and then 5 veggies.
Yep.
That is a freaking lot of food.
It is.
And see, I'm not used to eating a lot of carbs because I was kind of the same mindset that, if you're eating carbs, you're not going to lose weight. Well, I can tell you, and I think this happened after the nutrition call last week, was my boyfriend and I, we went out and had chicken fried steak. I'm talking about, mashed potatoes, gravy, the rolls, the cornbread, you name it. I actually took a picture and shared it with Lily's group, but I needed that meal. I didn't realize how much I needed that desperately because I haven't been fueling my body correctly, and I work out all the time. And so I actually felt better. I didn't feel like bloated or anything. I think I kind of like, my body was in survival mode, and it just needed kind of to be, y'all used the word a while ago, refeed, and I needed to replenish some of that in my body. And then this week too, with my long hours that I'm working, I feel a little bit better because I'm eating more carbs. So I think I just need it in general. If I was not probably eating food, I'd probably, obviously that's not a good thing, period, but the long hours that I'm working, I would be worse off.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a lot of food.
Yeah. And I have to say, when
I'm not finishing, well, I'm getting close. I'm getting better at finishing my container.
Yeah, when I'm following the plan, I feel the best I feel. You just, like, it's a definite switch. And like, time nutrition during 80-day obsession was the best, like, I have felt in a program, even though some of the workouts I would cry because I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this another day. Because 80 days is a long day to really stick to a program. Well, it was more than that, right? 90 days or something. But the nutrition piece of it, it was really amazing how much energy you sustain through the day. But it's work. getting ready for that day. And that's where I think a lot of people fall short, right? Because you really do have to prep ahead to make sure you can eat that way the next day.
Well, and just having the food on hand.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know, it's just making sure that it's there to grab and you're not grabbing goldfish when you're drinking your pre-workout.
100%. Yeah.
Sometimes
Are you speaking from experience, Mariana?
You know, I mean, sometimes that's the best chaser.
Yep. I mean, I will
Yeah.
fully admit, I will grab some chips while I'm waiting for my Shakeology to blend. If they're there on the counter, I might have a few, just, you know, a little something salty while I'm waiting for the good stuff to blend up.
That's why if you don't bring it into the house, it's not there to eat.
Yeah. One thing I've started to do to ensure that I'm not snacking on, like, because I'll be like, oh, I'm hungry. And I ask myself, well, are you hungry or are you thirsty? And if I'm like, no, I'm hungry, I'm like, am I hungry enough to go eat a green container? And if
There
the answer
you
is
go.
no, then I turn it around and I head and go do something else because I'm not that hungry. Like if I'm not willing to eat vegetables, then I'm not hungry. Like
Yeah.
then I'm just kind of bored and looking for something else to do. So that's been kind of helpful. And having like green beans are in season right now, so having those to eat or like cut up cucumber or whatever. But yeah, if I'm not willing to eat a green container,
You're
I'm
not
that
hungry. That's a great
My
way.
kids absolutely hate that answer.
I like that.
Yeah, mine do too. I say it with an apple.
have
If you
fruit
can't
with
have this
that?
piece of fruit, you're not hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Go get some carrots or peas or a piece of fruit. And if you don't want that, then you're not hungry.
Exactly.
Is it better to eat carbs earlier, like breakfast and lunch, rather than dinner?
It's better
Is that
for your
true?
energy. It does not matter for your weight loss. But it is better for
Yeah.
you to feel better because you're going to, because that the carb goes to your system for energy more quickly than a protein does or a fat does, you will feel the effects of having the carbs breakfast and lunch, but your total calories for the day are what matters for your weight loss. So if you had carbs at night, I mean, Alana likes to have the kitchen shut down, you know, at 6 o'clock and that not having carbs with dinner. But you still can lose weight with carbs at dinner. I think what she's finding is, well, and I think both Autumn and Alana have them early in the day because you can then be in a calorie deficit, but feel better with the energy you're getting from the carbs early. If that makes sense. You're reaping the benefits of them if you have them earlier.
Because you figure if you have them at night, you don't need the energy at night because you're
Right.
just going to go to sleep.
Exactly.
So wouldn't you be more likely to store it rather than use it?
Not necessarily, because if your body already went through, if it's going through enough calories, it would use them still. It's just you maybe during the problem with nighttime eating is most of the time we're not actually eating because we're hungry. We're eating out of habit, snacking, boredom, stress, whatever it is. So if you're eating enough during the day, it should be more simple to shut it down at night and then just not have something at night.
And one thing we talked about a couple weeks ago, because I told you that, you know, one of my penchants is to eat peanut butter and crackers. And so when we talk about the container system, the one thing that I've started doing is saving the containers that I know will make up a snack at night, whether it's a yellow and a couple teaspoons or tablespoons, whatever. It's peanut butter. And or like going for just like a single yellow, like a graham cracker sheet or whatever, but see, yeah, that teaspoon when it comes to a peanut butter jar, it's just not that friendly.
Well, it's not that big.
No, it's not.
It's tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you actually use a measuring spoon for a teaspoon, it's tiny.
It's
Yeah.
tiny.
So I just save like the container that I know for a snack. Like if I think that I'm gonna want fruit later, I won't eat a purple container. So that way it kind of all works. Because usually if I've had a long day or whatever, I find myself hungry like right before I go to sleep, and I'm legitimately hungry, so I'll eat something. But I just make sure it's within the container by structuring my containers. Because I don't normally eat breakfast. I'm drinking like my recover from my workout.
Right.
So then I just go straight to lunch at like 1.
I do that too. With my purple container because I love frozen grapes at night, and so they're a healthy snack that I like to have. So I do save a purple container sometimes as well. I feel like I'm gonna have some frozen grapes, so it's a good treat late at night.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Any other carb related questions? What else has come up?
I don't have a carb related question, but I have a sodium related question. So I love pickled things, all kinds of pickled things. And I found these cute little single serving pickles, portable pickles that you can put in like lunches and stuff. How I've always heard that you can, shouldn't eat too much sodium. Is it because it's salt and your body's holding on to it? Is there some other reason?
Well, it's water retention for if you're concerned about weight loss, but some people need to be on a lower sodium diet because of health issues that they have going on. But without having been told that, unless your doctor has said you need to be on a low sodium, then, you're just going to need to kind of flush it out, or maybe I think they're greens, Kim, the pickles are. I think they're just not all the time because of the sodium retention. But, honestly, if like it also like people drink pickle juice to do an electrolyte help, like keto people do pickle juice so that they have electrolytes. So I think if you're not seeing a difference in it, I don't know that I'd worry about it.
That is so awesome, because I was just sitting here thinking, what vegetable is salty? What vegetable tastes like salt? And that's a green container that's salty. I'm gonna get those.
And they're crunchy.
Crunchy too. They're crunchy too. Where did you get it? Like the like fruit section where they have those little containers, or was it refrigerated, or?
No, it's just with the pickles.
Where the olives and pickles.
Olives and pickles.
Yeah,
the
like
dressing.
salad dressings and stuff.
That is,
Yeah.
I'm doing that. I'm getting that next week.
Yeah, they're actually the very bottom on the green list for both regular and vegan. So
You just burst
It's
their
better
bubble.
than eating a bag of chips when you want
It's
something
potato
salty
chip.
and crispy.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's better than the tortilla chips that I'm gonna have.
I've been eating
Buy the-
cucumber with pink sea salt on it. So if
That's
you want like something crunchy and salty, cucumbers with pink Himalayan salt on it is really good.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
cucumbers with
I
the
do think about the sodium a little bit.
cucumbers with the
Yeah,
salt,
but
lime juice,
Is that-
and chili powder are delicious.
Oh, okay.
Or you can
And
use some,
tomato rounds as
too.
well.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's better than the Triscuits that I was also.
Oh, Triscuits are just fine. I live off Triscuits.
Really?
They
Triscuits
are.
are
They're
amazing.
3
So good.
ingredients. They're high fiber, and you can have 6 of them as a carb. I have them every day.
Can
I
we
love
have
that.
them with peanut butter?
Well, now then you're getting into your teaspoons. You guys and your peanut butter. Who watched Ted Lasso? Anybody? He talks about having the peanut
No.
butter jar in his kitchen where he dips in.
Yes.
What is that? Cucumbers and bananas?
Cucumbers with tuna.
Cucumbers,
It's cucumbers with tuna, and then I have my 6 Triscuits, like you said, in there, but they're topped and bottom with cucumber. So
Oh, I love that.
they're a little bit. You get more food with it that way.
Yeah, I don't know if Triscuits made the yellow list, but they're Deanna approved, so.
They're on
Say
my
no
list.
more.
Right? I'll make my own list. It'll include lots of peanut butter for you guys.
Thank you.
I have a question about tortillas because I've kind of been conditioned to stay away from like things that are white, like white potatoes, white rice. And I was really wanting tacos.
They have
So I
beef
used
tortillas.
I used turkey meat instead of beef, and I bought wheat tortillas. Is that better than regular tortillas?
Well, it's just
Absolutely.
it has more fiber, and so then the fiber helps keep you full longer. So that's why the white, flours aren't as
Look at that. Yeah.
desirable. So you can, and like some have protein in them, some are like a lower carb, but it's really all about that fiber content so that it can help keep you full longer. So you're feeling more satisfied with the tortilla choice. And it's interesting because I've noticed in the group, a lot of people talk about tortillas, and some of the, like none of these include the fiber content as calories. And so they're counting one, I believe, 6-inch round as a yellow, regardless of what the calories are.
Yes, I was just doing that today. But
Oh, those
Deanna,
are
we
protein ones.
had talked about these ones before,
We
these
did,
protein ones.
yeah.
And and so these ones have 12 grams of fiber to 15 carbs and 70 calories per tortilla. Are you saying that those fiber carbs are not included in the 70 calories?
Correct. They're not, because the FDA makes it so you don't have to, because they're not caloric. Some fiber can be up to 2 calories a gram. Depends if it's soluble fiber, 2 calories a gram. Insoluble, it's usually 0. So they don't have to include it in the calorie count. But the way the containers are set up and the way Autumn is advised is that you're just going by a 6-inch tortilla. So even, regardless necessarily of what kind it is, the higher fiber is going to help you feel more satisfied. But it would just count as 1 yellow. So, because like sometimes with yellows, we go up to like 130-ish calories. And so maybe you might think, oh, I can have 2 of these. But the way the program's written is you would just have 1. So
and this one,
yeah,
7 grams of protein as well. So
look at all you guys with your tortillas. I don't ever have tortillas.
Okay, so
it's better than white bread.
I feel
That's,
like I should take a tortilla picture. You guys can get your little.
It has 22 grams of carbs, but 5 grams of fiber.
there goes Kim.
Should I go get mine too?
Yeah, and Kathy, yours has a good ratio of fiber to carbs. So Lily's is like exceptional. They tossed a whole bunch of.
What was
fiber
yours,
in hers.
Lily?
It was
What was
12
These are
grams
bigger.
of
These are
fiber.
like 10-inch.
This one's 11. This one's 11.
Okay.
It has 110 calories.
12 grams to 15 grams of carbs.
Yeah.
And
Mine's
7
14
grams of
grams of
protein.
carbs and 7 grams of fiber.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is
Corn, too.
11 grams, 15. Yeah, 11 grams of fiber, 15 grams of carbs. Actually, this was a Dave buy. Dave bought these. Oh my God, it's insane. Good for him. That's the only thing that, it wasn't spam. It wasn't spam or 6 sloppy joes, but yes, he bought this tortilla. I did worse.
You should
I
take
bought these yesterday.
a picture.
I
What
thought
is
the
it, Sam?
tortillas had to be made of corn and they couldn't be made of flour.
Well, this one, it's funny that you say that because these are flour and corn tortillas. I mean, that's the mix.
You guys may
which
be
I've never
resurrecting
had.
my desire to use tortillas again because I haven't touched them because I'm not a fan of the corn tortillas. They just like rip and it's like.
Yeah, they're boring. They're
Mariana, I'll go look and
Well, I
see
mean,
if I can find if
Are
it's
these actually tortillas or are they wraps?
as long as it's
What's
got
the
fiber
difference?
content. But I'll go look.
Oh, I don't see hers.
I have regular tortillas, so just so everybody can feel really good, these have 16 carbs and 0 fiber in a regular like 6-inch one. So
Oh,
don't get these. You guys are all doing great. We ate all the corn ones already. But I can't believe there's no fiber in that.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
This
that there's not.
And they're only 90 calories. So you could think, oh, that's not bad, 90 calories.
That
I
yeah, the
opened up a
difference
Pandora's
there's no-
box.
is it'll
These pink ones are only
3 grams of protein.
they have the same amount of calories as this big wheat one, 110,
yeah.
but it's 23 carbs, but only 3 fibers. But it's all corn.
Oh.
They don't
What about
taste-
what about flatbread? Is flatbread a good option?
You know,
My husband
yeah,
hates these
it'd be the
fucking-
same type of thing where you're using one piece. A lot of people talk about the Lavish brand, I think it's pronounced. It's like Joseph's Lavish bread, or the flat outs also have good fiber ratios. So but regardless of the calorie count, because most of them are going to be somewhere 90 to 120, probably maybe as low as 70, but you'll just use one and you can then, wrap that up with something. You'll want one that has decent fiber and ingredients you can pronounce
Yeah, right.
as much as possible. And since we're on labels, Joy had sent me a label for, is it a
Yes.
granola bar?
It is. Yeah, it's like a granola bar. It's Kellogg's keto recipe. I've been trying to like keep track of my sugars because I kind of have a sweet tooth. So I've been trying to be good. And
Yeah.
hold on, I'm kind of sitting in the dock here. So it's got 160 calories per bar. It's got 12 grams of carbohydrates, but 9 grams of fiber.
Wow.
1 gram of total sugars. It says includes 0 added sugars, and then it's got sugar alcohol 1 gram.
Yeah.
And then protein is 7 grams.
Yeah. And I think it had
Now-
12 grams of fat. Because it's
Yes,
ingredient of peanut.
3.5 saturated. Yeah.
Yeah. So when this is kind of an interesting one, right? Because the fat's as high as the carbs. And so
Yeah.
you're probably at like a half a blue and a half a yellow. You have a little protein in there. So, but I think a half a blue and a half a yellow gets you close to the calorie count.
Okay.
But it does have soy products in it, which is kind of a no-go with UPF because
Okay.
soy products aren't necessarily great for your hormone systems. So it was, I think, a soy isolate, and there was like a soy protein. So I would say these are definitely a once in a while in a pinch bar.
Oh, okay. I thought I was doing good.
And the other piece of that is the sugar alcohols. Those are something you don't want to have a lot of.
Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I grabbed them was because it was the front of it says 2 grams net carbs, 1 gram sugar, 7 grams of protein.
Yeah,
That sounds great.
it does, doesn't it? They're really good on the front of the package. They're really good at the marketing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like-
what is the fiber and carbohydrate ratio supposed to be?
So you want at least 1 gram of fiber to 10 grams of carbs to be considered like what Alana calls a fiber-filled carb, something that has enough fiber that is going to help you feel full longer, and then also give you fiber to help with your digestion.
Okay, because these tortillas has 21 grams of carbs and 4 grams of fiber, so that's not good then.
No, that works, right? So
good.
then you would need you have 4 grams of fiber, so you have more than 1 to 10.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a good fiber content.
What's the calorie count of a yellow?
Well, it's a range. So it can be anywhere, I would say 90 to 130-ish.
Okay.
It's a range. And we don't have that information. That's proprietary with the plant. So we all kind of guess. When we're
Oh, okay.
when you're going away from the food plan, you're guessing. So the food
Oh,
list.
okay. All right. Okay.
I have a question. I know we started talking labels, and I know we've been talking carbs, but this has really been kind of gnawing at me, and I was wondering if you guys can help. So, almond milk, right?
Yep.
Good. We love it. Shakeology, overnight oats, big fan, huge. And I was buying this Khalifa Farms unsweetened almond milk.
Yep.
It's great. The ingredients are kind of bizarre a little bit. It's almond milk, water almonds, calcium carbonate, sunflower lectin, sea salt, natural flavors, locust bean gum, gellan gum, potassium citrate. Okay.
Yep.
The calories for one serving of 8 ounces is 35. Before I was buying that, I was buying Elmhurst almond milk, milked almonds, because the ingredients were literally, no joke, filtered water and almonds. 8 ounces for a cup of their almond milk is 130 calories, and I don't understand why. That seems a bit aggressive for something that's literally almonds and water.
Yeah, they might be leaving some of the almond meat in it.
I think Deanna's frozen.
I
Oh,
think it's
sorry.
frozen. I wonder if
I
it
think
has
she
anything
did.
to do with the fat content.
Must be a lot.
Where was the almond in the first one that you explained on the ingredients list?
Right.
In the first one, it was, oh, bear with me. Oh, no, wrong one.
Because almonds are high in calories and fat.
Right.
I mean, they're a good fat, but
But
Right.
high in fat.
So the almonds in this ingredient for the very first one of Khalifa Farms was, well, technically there was no almonds, it just says almond milk. And then in parentheses, it's water, comma, almonds. Whereas the other one had water first and then almonds.
Yeah, I would say they're probably leaving.
But
some
I
of
was,
the
so I
almond-
kept buying the Elmhurst because the ingredients was literally water and almonds. Like, this is pure as you can get it. Calories, and I was extremely offended at my $6 a bottle for 4 servings of 8 ounces of almond milk, and that I was being like, raked over the coals in calories. So I went back to Khalifa for 35 calories, but it just didn't make sense to me because it seemed like something that would be more pure would have less calories.
Well, it likely didn't have the fat taken out, or maybe some of the almond meat was still in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd look at that.
That would actually make the most sense.
And here's what's funny, right? Because everybody's getting into all these alternate milks, and like my friend and I walk to get coffee once a week, and we get hemp milk. Well, I looked that up one day, and I'm like, this is not on plan, because it's like there's a lot of fat in it, and it's all carb. There's no, like, where almond milk can have some protein or have some other things. Hemp
You get high on it?
don't
Isn't
have
hemp-
anything.
Isn't hemp like pot?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Did get
there's no
high?
THC or CBD in it.
Okay.
It's just the plant fiber. And
That's why
actually,
she's
you get-
only getting the coffee once a week, Kathy.
What?
I said that's why she's only getting that coffee once a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's how, yeah, maybe that's it. I think that might be it. They didn't take it because
Yeah,
it has the total
macadamia.
fat is 11 grams. Okay, yeah,
That one's high in fat too,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Sounds delicious.
but it's delicious.
Yeah.
In a latte. I discovered it in Indianapolis. It's amazing.
Hey, I have a question.
yeah, so it's
Is there a shortage in cashews? Because I was getting that silk cashew milk and I can't find it anywhere now.
I don't know. Maybe.
Anyone else been drinking that?
No, because cashews are kind of
nope,
the same
this
too.
is mine.
Yeah, I drink that and the coconut one as well.
Yeah, there seems to be a dip in cashew production. Yeah.
Interesting. So if you ever get a chance to try the cashew milk, it's amazing. And it's like 25 calories.
Oh.
Are all these nut milks supposed to be better than regular milk? What's the big hype about
It's
them?
not that they're better necessarily. They're less calories for something creamy.
Oh, okay.
So it's a swap where you can like, I just put water in my shakes, but people put it in their shakes because it makes it creamier and it can make it thicker.
Do
And
they taste like milk or do they
no,
taste?
not really. It's not the same as milk. Like if you have it in your coffee, it's thinner, but it gives a little creaminess, but not the same creaminess as a milk would give.
Would anybody drink it in place of a glass of milk? That's my question.
I don't think
Probably
so.
not. No.
I don't drink milk like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't
never
drink
You
that.
have to mix it in something.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it's basically for mixing,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You-
pretty much
you
where
can-
you're doing it.
like in your Shakeology.
You
and stuff.
can drink it like that. I just don't drink milk like that, so I wouldn't drink
Right.
it like that. I put it in my shake as well. So,
Okay.
and usually I have coconut, the coconut one, but they didn't have it, and so that they have this macadamia nut one. So, and I just like the flavor of it. I can drink regular milk and I don't have a problem with it. I just prefer to have the coconut milk or the macadamia nut milk.
Okay. That one I've never seen.
And like if you're using UPF, a glass of milk is a yellow of 2% milk, I believe it is. But a glass of almond milk, right? So if you're putting it in something, is a teaspoon.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's the sugar, right? Isn't it? Because
It
of
is.
the-
It's the milk sugars. Yep,
Mhm.
it's the milk sugars and the fat content. So you're getting more calories.
Yep.
Yeah,
What is almond milk again?
it's a teaspoon for 8 ounces.
That's what I thought. I couldn't, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's a real teaspoon.
it's a real teaspoon.
It's actually a cup, but
That's where you get in there and you're just digging. It's a heaping.
right. Okay, so for us peanut butter lovers, I just wanted to show you this. This is my favorite one.
That speaks to me.
Teaspoons again.
Yes,
You know,
On a t-shirt.
I was gonna say she should wear that T-shirt tomorrow because
Yeah,
tomorrow
that's
is
a t-shirt for
have
tomorrow.
something on your T-shirt
Yeah.
day.
I don't have this in a t-shirt, but I will someday.
There you go.
Send me if you can send that to me, Sue. I bet we can get it done in t-shirts.
Well,
Seriously?
Kim's husband's a printer.
Kim.
Kim?
Yeah,
Oh,
Kim can do it
He's
for you.
not- Yeah, Kim will make it happen. Jose can make it happen.
Oh,
heck
really?
yeah. Look at that. We're one step closer to our dreams, Sue.
Oh my God. Can't believe it. And then we'll have a Funky Friday for this.
Exactly. All right, and before
Well,
we're already at 6:00, but before we go, so meal prep is on Sunday. If you haven't seen the announcement, we're making waffles, we're making turkey burgers, and we're making a chickpea chicken curry. So it's going to be delicious, and all the links are in the group, so you can just click on there and go. And
Can
then
you tag me in that? I missed that announcement.
I will, yeah, I'll tag you.
Thank you.
And then tomorrow is wear your funny motivational whatever on your t-shirt or tank. And we'll get our Funky Friday on and take a picture. I'll take a picture of
What
us.
time is that? Deanna, what time is that? The
It's
Funky
11
Friday.
o'clock.
I've been trying.
You mean for,
No. Funky Friday is all day.
all day. And Lily puts together the picture at the end of the day. So just drop your picture into the group sometime tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go down.
All right. Jen, I don't know if you want to take off your video so you can come into the picture.
I can't because I'm driving home still, believe it or not. But thank
Okay.
you for
I
thank you
wish
for
I had
the
a-
call. It was awesome. Thank you.
Oh, good. Well, I need a little picture of you to
She's gonna take a
Photoshop in.
Have your name.
Of the-
All right. Everybody ready to smile? Cheese. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, thanks.
Thanks, Deanna.
And any
Thank you
additional
very
questions
much.
about carbs we can talk about next week, or if anybody has something they want to discuss, then just let me know, drop it in the comments. And I am going to look up some of this digestion idea. I'm really curious about this whole protein carb digestion thing. So I'm going to look it up with my books and see if it says anything.
Yeah.
If I have a minute, I'll help you look because I've got some research to do.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll all see what we can
Sounds
come back.
good.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a great night.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.